passed a bill when there was talk about a possible government shutdown to make sure that the military would have the ability to make all their payments. I guess somebody in the Justice Department or the Pentagon had some problems interpreting what we said.
The President was very disturbed to learn of this problem, and he directed the Department of Defense to work with the Office of Management and Budget and his lawyers to develop a possible solution.
We're going to bridge the gap until sanity rules down in Washington, and the President and Congress get in a room and straighten this out. Fisher House will bridge the gap,
which means
we will offer the families the $100,000 that they should have received within the first 36 hours until the shutdown ends, or until temporary legislation is enacted.
We would also be required to do some other bad things to our people. Just some examples: we couldn't immediately pay death gratuities to those who die on active duty during the lapse. If the death occurred after the lapse took place, then the money would be obligated after the lapse took place, and we would have no authority to pay based on that money until the lapse ended. So in that case, they could be delayed.
I think there are two issues here. One is, was it a political act? I tend to think that some of these interpretations, clearly people seem to be always erring on the side of being rough and tough and irrational, like the cordoning off of the World War II Memorial, which is open air and where it takes more park rangers to cordon it off than it would to accompany the aging veterans onto the site. I think there's an element of that, and we saw it in the sequestration. This isn't the first time. Administration is using anything it doesn't like as a way to punish American people. But there's a larger issue here, and that is, as the state becomes larger and larger, the bureaucracy becomes stronger and more arrogant and independent. It believes in itself. After all, it regulates. That's what it does. And it becomes punitive in the sense of saying, listen, you want to hold up the government? We're going to show you who's in charge. We're going to shut down all the monuments. You know, and if we don't get a blank check, we're going to do X, Y, and Z. And incidentally, on the question of language, the liberals always seize the dictionary here. It's in what we talk about now is a clean CR. Well, that sounds nice. It's clean, right? And Republicans want a dirty CR, continuing resolution. I would say what Republicans are asking for is to deny the administration a blank check. That's what the Democrats and the bureaucracy are demanding. So it would be nice if we could undo that language, where all of a sudden it looks as if what the Democrats are asking is inherently good. After all, clean is good. But blank check is a bad idea.
We will continue to work with the interim government to promote our core interests and to support areas that benefit the Egyptian people. The President was also clear, and has been clear, that we are not able to continue with business as usual.
The sense is, the belief is that the Obama administration was supporting the Muslim Brotherhood. And Muslim Brotherhood, people say, well, they won an election. Hitler won an election. Hamas won an election. A democracy is not about winning an election one time. It is about a relationship between the people and the government. And Morsi put himself above the judiciary, started stepping on the rights of women. You had 20 million, more than 20 million Egyptians in the streets saying we have to make change.
Charles, what about this in the big picture?
The big picture is that American allies in the region are simply astonished by what's happening. This is the third in 3 steps. It starts with Syria. Originally it's called a war criminal state because of the use of chemical weapons. Secretary of State describes what it did as a moral atrocity, threatens an airstrike, but ends up he's now a legitimate leader with whom we are dealing, and who was praised by our Secretary of State yesterday. With the Iranians, we get a few sweet words out of a new president. All of a sudden, we have the first communication. We have an opening of negotiations. The Gulf Arabs are in a panic. And now the one state in the region that has gotten rid of the Brotherhood, which was, as we heard just before, essentially attempting an abolition of democracy, we are now cutting aid in a way that is simply, it simply does not take into account the perception that the United States is now appeasing our enemies, Syria, Iran, and to some extent the Brotherhood in Egypt and others, and not understanding the effect it's having on our allies. If you're an ally of the United States now, you're wondering, can we count on anything the Americans are going to do?
They've basically sent this message that we are not a reliable ally. They are, and they're freaking out as our other allies in the region at the same time.
If the law says you have to suspend aid, change the damn law.
Right. Yeah.
And that's what they should have done on day one. You've got to have an exception. That's one of the reasons that the Islamists had taken over in Mali, because there was a law and we had to cut off aid, and it caused the collapse of the army.
So finally, tonight, we have some news. We had a little bit of a meeting yesterday with conservative columnists at the White House. Conservative columnists including Dr. Charles Krauthammer. You met with the president.
I did. I had to secure the monthly deposits into my Cayman Islands account, so I took care of that. But it was obvious, it was off the record, so I can't talk about what was in there. But if you get asked to attend a meeting with the president, the man who has the most important decision maker on the planet, and you have an opportunity to get into his mind and to see how he thinks, you absolutely have to go, and that's why I went.
Did you get something out of it?
I think I did. I'd seen the president in a similar setting the week before his inauguration. I got to compare how he was then and how he is now. But I do think it helps me to understand what he's doing. It doesn't mean I would attend everything at the White House. I'd been asked early in 2009 to attend a signing ceremony for stem cell research because I agreed with the changes the president had made. And I refused because I disagreed with some of his policies on cloning. So it's not a blank check.
This has been a Sunfish production.